now. 3, 2, 1. Finally, I think, yes, now we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you that this is number 32 week we're running online events here from DTV channel. I think it's a huge step. It's a huge step to be in here so long time. I'm sure that maybe we're trying to be somehow in a Guinness recording, but today is we're not talking about that. On Crypto Mondays, we're united. Russia, UAE, USA. I'm sure that today will join us person Patel from UK. That's why this blockchain industry really unites. I want to say that the past week, which are been ongoing in Russia community, we're finally passing one real life event. We see each other face to face, not via these online cameras. Here in Moscow on Blockchain Live, it looks like that this blockchain industry is really live, and our lives going through their channels. I want to welcome today's hosts. It's George Sebastiao from United Emirates. Hello, George. Nice to meet you here.
Nice to meet you
Gordon
as well.
Einstein from US, from LA. Gordon, my pleasure to have you guys. George, if you don't mind, yes, Gordon have to go from a little while later. That's why, first of all, just please, I want to hear from you what's going on their side, and then let him go. Gordon.
Well, I think I want to give you first the compliment for all the conferences and virtual and in live you've hosted, organized, attended, made happen. Like I said on your Facebook post, I have major FOMO, especially the Moscow live one. That looked happening. So, yep, still in Los Angeles, still under COVID lockdown. The numbers seem to be going up, but we'll see what happens. And I thought something interesting to talk about was Ripple's potential promises, threats, or public consideration of relocating from the United States to potentially London or UAE or Singapore or Switzerland.
It finally happens or not?
It's not finally happening, but they're how do I say this? They're thinking very loud and clearly and publicly about doing it. And I think, no, it hasn't happened yet, mainly because I think they're trying to decide which jurisdiction to migrate to. They're probably jurisdiction shopping and talking to the regulatory authorities in the various jurisdictions. But it's kind of like Kik a little bit. Kik threatened to go into intense litigation with the SEC about their ICO and eventually folded. Ripple, as someone who got out early and has a big war chest, I think it's in a different position. And it's a real statement about the regulatory environment in the United States that people are publicly saying this. It used to be kind of like not so loud, and now it's very loud. So I think it's worth discussing.
I see. Gordon, share your opinion about some pumping happens with Bitcoin, because we are, when being on Blockchain Live, we think that this happened because of first and one global event all around the globe. I don't know, maybe your opinion, why, and what's the reason why Bitcoin is going
I think Bitcoin definitely pumped because of your event. And number two, I think Craig Wright needs to be embarrassed for claiming your title as Satoshi. I mean, it's clear that you're him. So, no doubt your events contributed at least half to Bitcoin going up. I see the other half might be PayPal saying that they're going to allow my purchases and sales of crypto, and just the general ongoing craziness with the nonstop printing of money and quantitative easing and Corona maybe not ending, so even more monies can be printed. So there needs to be more institutional type interest in Bitcoin. They're kind of like sopping it up. So we'll see. But I've seen this number before. So wake me up when it gets to 20,000.
Yeah, actually, I am personally eager to know. I have missed your event with Tony Vase because he has very, very interesting thoughts. Just a couple of them. Just summarize what Tony says about crypto, about Bitcoin. He is very huge fan of that. How I'd say of that coin, but it's really Father is really the king of this crypto industry.
Well, funny you should say that, because Tony Vase, his other burgeoning interest, it's his avocation is health and nutrition. So we did something entirely different on this last show. we talked about crypto for maybe 5 or 10% of the time, and the whole rest of it was healthy living. So we had lots of discussion of liver, shellfish, salmon roe, not what kind of fast to eat, how much sleep to get. So, he's long-term bullish, but believe it or not, that was not a major topic of discussion. So, if you want healthy lifestyle, he's multi-factor, he's multi-lane. He can do that too.
Okay, got it. Gordon, let me jump to the DeFi, which are on the back of the Jorge Sebastiao. Actually, to be frank, everyone says that DeFi market goes down. And anyone says, wow, it's going to be the second rise. But everyone says, I don't know why, because we see that DeFi market is ongoing. Yes, Compound and these, MakerDAO as this, they are lower. They has lowered their rates, but everything is live. That's why maybe, George, what's your opinion and what's your interesting company on your back?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sergey, for the opportunity to be here. Thanks, Gordon. Say hello to LA. It's always a pleasure to be with you guys, especially with this big event that is happening in Moscow, Blockchain Live. I was scheduled to present there, but had to do this via remote means. So it's a pleasure to be here live today on the last day of the event. As you know, DeFi is definitely the way to go for the future. Of course, maturity is ongoing. This also addresses some of the issues that Ripple or some of the other cryptocurrencies have, which in the sense, currencies or cryptocurrencies that have to deal between the fiat world and the blockchain crypto world have to live in jurisdictions. The DeFi lives in the blockchain space. So the blockchain space does not have the same jurisdiction issues because it is jurisdictionless. The blockchain or the code is the one that actually sets the rules. Of course, the code needs to be inspected, needs to be audited. This is one of the projects that I'm the co-founder and also the CTO as well. So I'm assisting it and its first day. The first day was actually yesterday, October 25th. It got listed on Uniswap, which is today one of the top exchanges for DeFi protocols. It reached on its first day already below top 40. So I think it's a very important milestone on the first day of the project. And we expect to be on the top 10 within the next 10 days or so. So we're putting a lot of effort to wake up the community and to get very interesting participation in this project. So definitely DeFi is the most interesting technology that came about a little bit after blockchain. You say blockchain got introduced about 12 years ago. Ethereum blockchain got introduced a little bit over 6 years ago. And when we introduced the smart contracts and dApps, this started to enable a whole new capability of functionality. And of course, DeFi was a little bit slow at the beginning, but over the last 1 year or so, we have seen a lot of maturity in which we are able to recreate, if not in its entirety, at least some of the key functionality that is normally reserved for financial institutions, which means that you can take your tokens, you can stake them to perform functions like mining, to do loans, to do insurance. And when you stake these tokens, obviously, instead of having just your tokens, like for example, let's assume you have Bitcoin on your wallet, Bitcoin only goes up or down based on the market. If, however, you take tokens in DeFi and you stake them, that means you lock them for a period of time. It can be 1 day, it can be 1 month, it can be 1 year or more. Then you have returns on these tokens, and these returns can be as little as something like 1 or 2% a month, but they can be substantially higher, sometimes upwards of 30, 40, or even 50% a month. So, of course, it's not just about staking the tokens, it's about usability, it's about scarcity, it's about transparency. So the more utility that we get on the tokens, and as long as the tokens have a limited amount or limited supply, you're obviously going to see an inflation curve being generated. So over time, the tokens that have the most utility will see their price rise. For example, TGX token got listed at about 19 cents to USDT. It is now trading at 25 cents at the end of day number 1. So it's a very stable rise. It's not a meteoric rise. We want to be able to control the flow
Where
and the
is
utility
already
of the
get
project.
listed? On Uniswap?
When you swap, yes, correct.
Yeah. Because
Against you,
all the tokens of the DeFi firstly go into the Uniswap.
that is correct. So
Yeah.
because Uniswap is this large ecosystem,
Yeah.
which has a large amount of liquidity, we're going to be launching as well in about 1 month's time, DeFi X swap, which will provide the same functionality as Uniswap, but with lower rates. But at the same time, Uniswap will always be there, and we give people the freedom of choice to use the distributed exchange that they prefer. And I think what makes the big difference in the distributed exchange is the availability of liquidity. So the more liquidity that is available, and I think one area that we need to obviously watch out for is what we sometimes refer to as gas fees. So as DeFi got a little bit big traction, what we saw is the gas fees started to go up to a high level where gas fees used to be $1 or $2. They went all the way up to $50, but I think they're down back to reasonable amounts of $2 or $3, which is quite important to enable these projects to take place and to flourish. Because at the end of the day, when we create these new DeFi solutions, what we're doing is we're creating an inclusive model. So at the end of the day, we want everybody to participate. You can participate which as little as 100 USDT, and from there, you can basically grow your investment based on your capabilities.
Thank you, George. Actually, what I heard, I have a lot of questions asking from people to DeFi projects. They are really interested. What's the business model behind just staking? Because staking as is don't give some money. It's not a bank system like someone gives the loan, another goes to debt from that loan. It's in DeFi space is working, looks like on something another way. Just tell us how it works.
Okay, yes, I can
It's very
explain.
interesting.
It's a very good point. See, typically when you take a token, let's say we take the TGS token and we stake it, that means we take a certain amount of TGX tokens, let's say $100. And what we do is we stake 100 USDT worth of TGX, which in this case will be about 400 TGX. So we will stake it for 1 day, for 1 week, for 1 month. Once this TGX is staked, that means this TGX is put to use. Now, what are some of the uses that can be done? One use could be cloud mining. So what we're doing, we're using this TGX along with USDT to mine new TGX tokens. We have a limited supply of about 93 million of them. So the more TGX tokens that we're able to generate, then the better value gets returned to the members. Another type of value that can get generated is when you do basically arbitrage. Now, what is arbitrage? Arbitrage is when we have two tokens that are listed on more than one exchange, and we try to find the rate differences between the exchanges. So we buy on the exchange in which is lower, and we sell it on the exchange which is higher. And the small difference we pocket and we return it to the investors that actually stake the tokens. So that means the people that are staking the tokens are actually providing liquidity to these operations. So to some extent, what they're doing is they're providing short-term liquidity. So it's almost like a loan. Now, instead of being an interest-bearing loan, it's a loan that returns either a fixed amount, could be 2, 4, 6, 18, 15%, but it could also be returning an amount that depends on the overall return of the transactions that got performed. So basically on the swaps and the profit of the swaps that actually took place. Now, as we move to more sophisticated models, tokens can also be used to trade commodities. So what we do is we go to traditional commodity markets, could be gold, could be silver, could be crude. And what we do is we match these tokens with those commodities. And that really means we lock some amount of those commodities based on the tokens that are staked. in the markets. And if those commodities go up, then of course the profits from the trade of these commodities get returned back to the members that actually staked those tokens. A third example is when we offer things like, for example, insurance. So what we can do is offer short-term insurance for various projects. And again, you get a return based on the insurance that is provided. We can say that DeFi is still in its early baby steps. You know, the big advancements are still coming over the next 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. And these advancements are going to come from the fact that the more sophisticated the application that we have, you know, the better the returns are going to be to the members. So that's really about innovation and about, you know, creating disruption and creating excitement amongst the members.
Okay. George, my question to you personally, am I right? Your location now is in Dubai.
Actually, today I'm not in Dubai. I was in Dubai about 3 days ago.
Mhm.
I just landed in Cyprus. So I'm actually between Limassol and Nicosia today. So I'll be going back to Dubai either November 1st or November 15th. So I typically stay between 3 or 4 countries, which is Dubai, which is United Arab Emirates, sometimes Bahrain, sometimes Limassol or Nicosia and Cyprus. And sometimes I do visit countries like, for example, Russia, when we have events like Blockchain Life in Moscow. And as you know, we have the events are starting again to physical events as opposed to virtual ones. We're going to have a few events happening in Dubai recently or shortly. One of them is going to be GCC e-government for smart cities. And then we'll have also towards end of November, beginning of December, we'll have GITEX as well as the blockchain universal event. And this blockchain event held in Dubai is going to be held in conjunction with the GITEX event. So it will be actually quite large. Of course, because of the COVID rules, it is going to be probably a little bit different than what you saw in Blockchain Live. I saw some of the pictures. So the events,
It's been very
the
crazy
events,
event.
exactly, the events that we have in Dubai must comply with the rules of Dubai. So that means the chairs have to be 2 meters apart from each other.
They've been on that event on that place. Yes, people don't be so close to each other, but you know, actually, people want to just hug each other, want to listen. That's why this is no matters. All people around, all this crowd, yes, being with each other. No, really, people get missed each other. They are get missed that the physical.
Human contact is very important in our business. As you know, business gets done by people, not by software, not by rules. So, of course, this constant exchange of ideas, discussions like we're having here is very important. But when you have a face-to-face contact and we shake hands, we have a drink together, it of course makes a very big difference. So it allows us to perform the solution much better. So I cheer for you some coffee.
Yeah. Mutually, yes, I have another one. Really, I hope that this situation going to be changed. It's have to be changed somehow. I don't know, with spreading this coronavirus all over the globe, and all of us get sick and that get I'd say.
No, it is going to change very rapidly. And one of the reasons I believe it's going to change very rapidly is, for example, in UAE, we have done already 40,000 injections for trial. We have done the 3rd trial. So starting next month of November, we will start basically the injections. So once we start distributing the injections to everybody, then I do believe that people that got this injection will have like a passport. So that means, okay, I got the injection, so this is my paper. So instead of doing a COVID test, you just have to show that you did maybe the injection in the last 3 months or 4 months. And what this enables is the easier movement of people. And it will make things a little bit simpler. By the way, this is already happening. Let me give you an example. As you know, between Dubai and Abu Dhabi, the rules are different. So to go to Abu Dhabi, yes, to go to Abu Dhabi, you actually have to do a COVID test on the highway. They have a very high-speed COVID test that is done with laser technology. It takes about 3 to 4 minutes. You need one droplet of blood. However, the people that participated in the vaccine trials, and there's, like I told you, 30, 40,000 of them, they don't have to do this test anymore. They simply show the paper that they were vaccinated, and they continue their journey. So it speeds up the movement of people and the interaction between people. So I do believe that once this immunization injections start to be distributed to the entire population, I think airports will reopen a little bit more, events will be more relaxed, and we will see a gradual relaxation of the rules. But I think it will take some time. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. It might take 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, depending on the capabilities of the various countries. But I do see a gradual reopening of the borders as the vaccines get distributed across the population.
I don't know. I don't know why, but people here in Russia, in Moscow, a lot of them really get scary about that new ongoing vaccination, because for me personally, I really reject that. I want the best way to get sick of the COVID and then retain it, because no one knows what's inside of that vaccine. Maybe it's affected somehow. Maybe it's get more another diseases. How people in Dubai treat that new vaccine? They are ready to be injected, or they are part of them rejected that vaccine, part of them accepted. Really, for me, it's very interesting what's going on that side of the earth.
Well, see, I do believe that's why they're doing the trials. I think every vaccine is different. Every infection is different. And what I mean by that, even COVID-19, it's not like
so many types of
variations.
Yes,
correct.
Already appears.
So we have 100 types of vaccines. Yeah. They all work a different way. I'm not obviously an immunologist expert, but from what I've read so far, and I read a lot because I travel quite frequently, I do believe this kind of injection is going to be very similar to the flu injection that gets done every year. First, this injection will have to be repeated every year or every 3 or 4 months. That's number one. Number two, the injection will have to be updated with the latest variations of the COVID-19. So that really means for it to be effective. And it will have a period lifetime, maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months. For it during this time, it will be most effective. And then over time, it will get less and less effective. And you'll have to get like a booster immunization shot to re-increase your chance of protection against the disease. And although this might be considered as a small inconvenience, but I think it's worthwhile given the freedom that we get back. We'll be able to organize events more regularly. We'll go back to almost normal life as we had pre-COVID. But I do believe that even the situations that we have today, it's going to be a gradual reopening. It's not going to be like overnight. Everything is. It's not like a switch you turn on or off. It requires a little bit of adjustment.
Okay, George, I want to thank you for participation today. Unfortunately, our next speaker, our next host of our events, Patel, our best friend, not arrived here, and Gordon have to rush. I think it's enough for today. Thank you personally.
My pleasure. It's always you're always welcome. Normally, we also host the EcoX in Dubai. We have delayed the EcoX this week to Wednesday. We also have something in Dubai called Dry Night, which is a day where no alcohol is served. So typically those days, sometimes there's less people to attend. I did invite a colleague. I don't know sure if he has time to join. His name is Tony or Anatoly. So
okay, let's try. Let's try to.
Let's see if he's online. Let's see if he can join us. He's a very interesting guy. He's participating in our project, but he's right now in Miami, which is not too far from Los Angeles. Okay, maybe a 6 or 7 hour flight.
On the same time zone. Yes, I want to remind.
No, big difference. No, it's
really different
between Miami and Los Angeles. There will be 3 or 4 hours difference in time zone.
That's
So
why
it's a big,
for him being much more comfortable than for Gordon, because for Gordon it's 7 a.m. It's really earlier morning.
that is correct. So in Miami, it will probably be now something like 10
10 or
o'clock
11.
in the morning, 10 or 11 in the morning. They just changed to what they call the daylight savings time. So that means, not everybody changed sometimes the time zones. For example, Dubai, there's no daylight savings. In Cyprus, there was daylight savings. So we went from having a 1 hour difference to now having a 2 hour difference.
Actually,
So
the same in Moscow, the same in Russia, because yes, how am I remember? Yes, during my lifetime, I'd say yes. I see that at least 30 of my years, Russia also has daylight, but now starting from 10 years ago, there is no difference. At the same time is in winter, and the same time is in Russia. Actually, to be frank, in Moscow, so much time we are living just in winter. It's all in winter, because all the time there is very teeny time, very teeny summer. I know what's happening, what's really interesting happening in October. So many sunny days here in Moscow during October. That's why we are got very happier from that.
yes, okay, perfect.
Okay,
It's a
we're
great, a
looking
great
for
pleasure
your
to see you.
friend. We're looking for your friend. I want to remind to all our viewers that our events are so-called immersive, and you can join us, and every time and every moment our doors are open. Yes, I'm going to moderate all that stuff, but you have the chance to talk with us. You have a chance to spread your ideas. Yes, concerned to the topic for sure, but it's very interesting. It's new kind of television. It's new kind of approach to the people engaging on the spreading their ideas. That's why I am personally with my team ready to have you here today or on the next day, up to you. George,
Actually, I was talking. I was also talking with Maru Patel yesterday. He's still in Europe. He's moving from one part of Europe to Spain. So we're doing a couple of projects together in what we call Bitcoin ATMs. So
wow.
he's doing a lot of interesting work in this area. So
PayPal does, and you are in addition going to add to the community, to the worldwide spreading of Bitcoin. I don't know, cash changing and vice versa.
vice versa, yes. So you can see he's got 2 or 3 models. Some are wall mount, some are stand that are full blaze. The nice thing about his ATMs is they have a very nice big screen. As you know, most of the Bitcoin ATMs have a very small screen. So they've spent a lot of time creating a very nice user interface. And this nice user interface can be customized based on the requirement. The project in which we plan to use these first ATMs is with another good friend by the name of Kuram Shroff. It's going to be in Toronto, Canada. So we'll be shipping these ATMs to Toronto, and we'll be installing them across Canada, first in Ontario and then to other provinces. They have obtained a license for cryptocurrencies with exchange. So that means they can provide some of the same services, almost like a bank. It's not a full-fledged bank, so it's not an investment bank, but it will allow you to deposit cash and get Bitcoins, Ethereum, or USDT, and vice versa. It will allow you the capability of issuing like a Visa or a debit card, and then tie your wallet to that card and pay at normal shops. Because as you know, not every shop today still accepts cryptocurrencies. So it's important to have a good bridge between the traditional and the virtual world. So that's one of the things also we will be doing in TGX sometime middle of next year. We're also introducing payment systems, because obviously it's very important to have this interface between the traditional world and the cryptocurrency world. So payment systems are very important to get traction or to get usability and the projects as well.
George, for me, it's very interesting why banks, for example, JP Morgan or Sberbank in Russia or someone else, why they do not provide that service to their customers. You know what I see? Bitcoin is already around the globe. It's already exists. We can't say, wow, this country do not accept, here you can't use. Bitcoin is used everywhere, literally, and it's already a fact which already happened. That's why, what's the difference to add, I don't know, new coin, to add new currency on the list and say, wow, guys, you have all the chances to put your, I don't know, your cash money into our terminal and just buy that new kind of money. What do you think about that?
No, but
Because it's very easy to implement for them. You know, it's already done, that infrastructure.
And it is being done. I can give you an example of a bank from Germany that I'm using for now almost 1 year. It's a traditional bank known as Solaris Bank.
Mhm.
So what they did is they created a DeFi project known as Bitwala. And what the Bitwala project...
I know them personally. Very interesting guys, yeah.
So Bitwala belongs to a traditional bank, Solaris Bank. So that means you can have traditional bank accounts or you can have Bitwala accounts.
Yeah.
If you have a Bitwala account, you have a normal European bank account. You'll have a Visa or a MasterCard tied to that account. And you'll have the capability also having Ethereum or Bitcoin and buying and selling them in real time. So you have a Bitcoin, you can buy from your account, or you can sell and then use on your debit card directly. So, but the owner of this project...
We're talking about legally, on really invoice, on really on your bank account.
Correct, yes. It's a normal bank account. You can also send a SWIFT transfers to this account as well. So you can send them from normal. Of course, you have to do the KYC and the AML procedures where you have to provide your passport, you have to provide your, what do you call, proof of residence or proof of address. So they'll ask you for electricity bill or for internet bill. You go through this process. They use actually a German service called Identity Now, which is very strict and very automated.
It's based on blockchain. It's based on blockchain.
Not just based on blockchain. They do a video link with you, and you have to show a copy of your passport, and you have to show your face.
Type of identification. It's just online identification, not real time. Goes to the I don't know, their office or their branch.
That is correct. Everything is done online. Everything is done online. They validate to make sure it's a real passport. So they look for special keys in the passport.
I see.
And this gets done in something like 10 minutes. So that means that at the end of this time, then your account gets activated and you can start performing normal transactions.
Perfect. Perfect. Do we wait for someone or not?
No, don't worry. If maybe the different time zones, or sometimes people are a little bit shy to show up.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure to be with you as always.
The same mutually to you too. Guys, today our conversation, our live event is over. I want to thank you, Jorge, Sebastiao, and Gordon Einstein for participating in this event on this Crypto Monday, our 32 week of live shows already open. Thanks a lot to all of you. We have to meet every day to each other starting from today, and we'll continue running our shows. George, I'm looking for you on the next Crypto Monday. See you. And
my pleasure. Okay, cheers. Bye-bye.
Rock blockchains, knock 'em out the box, out my docks, man. Key ring full of wallet data. I gotta pray that my ASIC incinerators blow the mind like a creeper one time in my circus divine. A fine way to keep the power bill in check. My equipment is starting to sweat from the heat. Crypto anarchy becoming a threat. So elite. You know